From 2 brand new middle schools, almost a dozen new restaurants, and a few updates on some residential building projects, this is the first episode of Coming Soon Spokane. What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel, or hello if this is the first time for you. My name is Hayden Halstead with the Halstead Home Team, your favorite Spokane, Washington realtor, here to give you an update on some of the major things happening in Spokane. As a lot of us know, or maybe you don't, Spokane has been rapidly changing, but almost at a pace that, I don't think some of us even realize how much it is growing and how rapidly that is happening. And so in this new series, Coming Soon Spokane, we're going to keep you up to date at least once a month on what are the new projects that permits have been pulled on, that have broken ground, so that you know what to expect out of Spokane in the next 3, 6, 12 months from now as these projects start to finish up. Now, if there's anything I miss in this episode, or there's something that you have a question about, you're like, hey, there's a construction project going on down the street from me, just drop it in the comments or shoot me a message and I would be happy to check it out and get some more information included in my next video for you. But all my contact info is down in the description, so feel free to reach out with anything that you see going around Spokane that you would like me to do some research on and talk more about. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the video. And the first 2 very exciting things are the brand new, beautiful middle schools that are being added to Spokane right now. So we have 2 brand new middle schools that are going to be open for the 2022 school year. The first one being the Pauline Flett Middle School in Northwest Spokane, and the Yasuhara Middle School in Northeast Spokane. The Yasuhara School is actually just a few blocks down from where I live, and it is a monster middle school for what Spokane is, or the middle schools that we have had. I actually need to go drive by the Flett Middle School, but as we'll have up on the screen here, some images of how construction is going, because it's almost done. These buildings are absolutely gorgeous and are a huge step up from the middle schools that we have here in Spokane. Due to a city bond that passed back in 2018, I believe, we've been able to pour a bunch of money into building up our middle schools, improving some of the high schools, as we've just ended basically either rebuilding or remodeling nearly every single elementary school in School District 81. These 2 new middle schools are going to relieve some of the pressure off of Salk in the Northwest Spokane and Gary Middle School in Northeast Spokane, as they were both starting to get pretty crowded. And so now both the Northwest Spokane, Northeast Spokane have multiple middle schools that they can push children to and kind of separate it out. And it really became necessary because Spokane over the last few years has recently switched from being in a place where only 7th and 8th grade was in middle school to now where it is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So we're going to push 6th graders up to these buildings, relieve some of the stress on the elementary schools that have already gone through it. But even though those elementary schools were remodeled, the space is still constricted. There's so many students and the population is growing so much that we have to take all the 6th graders, move them up to the middle schools to relieve some of the pressure that the elementary schools have been feeling. Now, something we'll continue to keep up to date on is that the South Hill is actually getting 2 brand new middle schools as well. One being brand new, being built up past 63rd, where the old South Hill Dog Park was, right next to Moran Prairie up there. And where I went to middle school, Sacagawea, they have kept the old Sacagawea building, but there's a giant field behind it, and so they are building the brand new school in the field there, so students continue going to school at the old Sacagawea until that one is finished. I believe they'll probably tear down that building for some additional field access and parking, but I'm not 100% sure on what they're actually going to do with the old Sacagawea building at this time. So what's really cool about Spokane is we've poured a ton of money into education recently, and if you are moving here to the area, you can almost be guaranteed that whatever school you end up at within School District 81 has been completely remodeled within at least the last 10 years. But if you're going to be here elementary, middle, high school, your children will be, one of those schools is going to be nearly state-of-the-art, brand new technology, books, everything is going to be just state-of-the-art. And we're definitely trying to set a new standard for Spokane in terms of education. The other cool thing that Spokane public schools have been up to is the current massive project going on down by the Spokane Arena, and building a huge new soccer field that will be in addition to what we already have, which is Joe Albee Stadium. So now, because there's so many more schools, so many more students, we will now have 2 outdoor sports arenas So hopefully we can have less scheduling conflicts, and it'll just open up more opportunities for things like outdoor concerts, professional sports teams to come to Spokane, all that kind of stuff. So there's mixed reviews about that one right now, especially in terms of parking. Some people think parking will be fine. Others are a little concerned because where it is at right now used to be the majority of the parking for the Spokane Arena, but now that is all gone. And so we are a little concerned that if there's something going on at the arena, the pavilion, the civic center, and this new sports complex all at the same time, that there's going to be a little bit of a parking issue when we get to downtown. So I'm interested to see if maybe a new parking garage will be built in the area at some point as well. So another thing that is happening quite rapidly here in Spokane and very indicative of how it is growing and the excitement towards Spokane's future is all of the new restaurants that are currently in the process of opening or opening very soon. I have a list of 14 here. I think I've probably missed a few as well, but we're just gonna kind of run through them really quick. If you watched some of these videos before or you stick around this channel, you just know that I love checking out the restaurants here in Spokane and talking about them as much as possible. These ones are all just opening like this week as I'm posting this video, or coming up in the next few months. So I want you guys to go check them out when they open, flood the restaurants, tip well, and make sure we show them some Spokane love. So the first one is downtown by the flour mill and the arena, just where we were talking. There's two restaurants by the same owner that are going to be opening up, Casa and Loren. I hope I'm saying both of those correctly. But Casa is going to be like a fusion sandwich and bar food place with 15 taps, huge windows so you can look out over Riverfront Park and check out the beautiful park that we have here in Spokane. And then Loren will be a little bit smaller. It'll be in the basement, and it's actually going to be a French-inspired speakeasy, so it'll be a little bit more high level, maybe a little bit more expensive food, but kind of cool. You have maybe your lunch, quick spot, a little bit cheaper eats upstairs, and your more expensive dinner downstairs. And I'm just gonna kind of fly through some of the other ones on this list, but we have Popeyes coming to Spokane now, planning for a double drive-through, just like Chick-fil-A did up north, because they think it's gonna be poppin', because Spokane apparently loves their chicken sandwiches. One of my personal favorites, small businesses here in Spokane, Taco Vado, was a drive-through breakfast burrito spot and coffee. It's just kind of an awesome idea, but they've gotten so busy and grown so much that they're actually opening a storefront. So you will not be able to drive through and get your breakfast burrito anymore, but they're gonna have a super cool space. You can sit in there, grab your coffee and your breakfast burrito, and then head to work after that. But seriously, what they put in these breakfast burritos, which is just eggs, meat, and pickled onions, the way they do it is freaking phenomenal. We have the Yummy Crab, which is a seafood chain coming to Spokane on North Division. We have Habit Burger, a burger chain going on North Division. Up on the South Hill, somebody else in the real estate industry actually just opened up Summit Kitchen and the old Lindemans, and so I think that's just like a one-stop shop, coffee, cocktails, dinner, sandwiches, pastries. I think they pretty much have it all under one roof, and so that'll be great for the people coming home from downtown, heading up to South Hill, and they just want to stop by and grab something, or just stop in for dinner on their way home. Uno Mas Taco Shop. They just opened up in Wonder Building, but they're also opening up a spot out in the valley. That is Chef Chad White. He owns TT's, Zola, recently had High Tide Lobster, and so he's made a huge mark on Spokane. Mac Daddy's has a Northtown location, but now they're going to be in the downtown mall. Custom mac and cheese, I'm pretty sure, is what they do. Indigenous Eats is very cool. I think it's a Native American inspired restaurant near Gonzaga, like fry bread, that kind of stuff. Billy's Diner out in Airway Heights, so new diner, but kind of like a farm to table type diner that's opening up. Emery's Fermentations out in Liberty Lake. I know they've been under construction for a long time, but kind of a meadery style bar. Shiki Japanese Steakhouse going into the downtown mall, so you're gonna have a fancy steakhouse, Japanese steakhouse option downtown now. A second Chick-fil-A is coming to the Spokane South Hill, so now we will have two places in Spokane where there will be double lines of cars going around the blocks to get some more chicken sandwiches. And then lastly on my list is Beard Papa's, which I have never heard of this place before, but I'm very interested. So Beard Papa's started in Osaka, Japan, and apparently They are famous cream puffs, and you'll be able to choose your shell from the original all the way up to a green tea eclair. And then you'll be able to choose your fillings, other dessert items, all sorts of stuff. It looks very interesting. And so I think that is going out in the Spokane Valley near Costco. So those are just a handful of the new restaurants I see opening up here in the next few months. We'll keep an eye on it. Make sure to post. If you're not following me on Instagram, I'll be posting any updates I see there. So go follow me over there, and we'll make sure to subscribe to this video so that you can watch for the next Coming Soon Spokane with any updates on these projects. All right, and so now for the real estate side of this video. If you currently live in Spokane, you know that you could drive for 2 minutes and you're gonna see some sort of construction project going on, because it is summertime. So this is the time when construction just happens here in Spokane, whether it is street repair, sewer line repair. The city of Spokane is making all of their major infrastructure improvements during the summer months. So it causes some traffic, some annoyance, but there's also an insane amount of apartment buildings being built right now all across Spokane. If I tried to name them all or do all the research, I would be spending hours and hours on this. You can drive around and see most of them just from the cranes popping up and all that kind of stuff. But there's an approximate 3,400 units being built in Spokane currently in kind of 4-level and higher apartment buildings, minimum of basically 30 to 40 units, all the way up to 250-ish units. So I'm interested to see how this rapid growth of apartment buildings softens the rental market. I think it's a great thing because the rental market is still playing catch up to the real estate market, the residential real estate market. And I definitely want there to be more availability and less competition for renters out there. I understand though that many of the developers are just now taking action because they were really hesitant in 2020, 2021 to take action on building things just because they weren't exactly sure where the market was going to be. And they didn't necessarily want to be the reason for flooding a bunch of rental units into the market. If for some reason we were just on a weird trajectory upwards and then we just dropped back down, they can see that we are now at just a steady incline of demand, of need for rental housing in Spokane. And so they have just been taking action left and right trying to get these things built. If you've seen some of my past videos or you've watched the news, you've also heard just about the changes in zoning. And so we haven't really started to see a lot of people jump on that as far as I can tell, as far as permits have been pulled and just driving around Spokane. So it'd be interesting to see in the next couple episodes of Coming Soon Spokane what it's starting to look like if people are rapidly building duplexes through fourplexes. If we see an increase in townhomes now that those are going to be allowed in residential neighborhoods. So again, stick around, subscribe if you haven't already, so you can see the next episode of Coming Soon Spokane. And lastly, in terms of housing developments, the one I just want to mention, again, there's a ton. You can go pretty much anywhere around Spokane and see some sort of housing development happening. But the one that I've heard the most people having major concern over is over in Eagle Ridge. If you don't know, Eagle Ridge is just actually a little bit outside of Spokane off of 195 heading south towards Pullman, where Washington State University is. I mean, it's still within the confines of like where the South Hill is at, basically between the South Hill and the airport. But that's a community that has been built up between like the 90s to mid 2000s, and now they are growing it even more. And so it is being surrounded by construction to where at the very top of Eagle Ridge, they're starting to build out up there. And then at the very bottom of Eagle Ridge, where there used to be a 3-par golf course, they have shut that down. And now that is going to be I think at least 50 houses, if not more, because once the golf course sold, the homeowner that had like 10 acres behind the golf course also sold, and I think the guy next door sold as well. So we could have maybe up to 80 houses being built in this little area. Now the thing is, we love new houses, we love building more houses because there's a need for it right now. But if you drive through that area, you'll see how traffic is going to be majorly affected, especially on the lower end, because there's just this skinny little road that has a super sharp turn, and then you're at a stop sign on 195, a very active freeway, especially during rush hour. And so which already backs up quite a ways, quite a few, there's not even blocks right there, but it's just a tiny little kind of country road there. It's already getting backed up a lot. And so if we're adding even more housing in that area, we're worried about traffic congestion, accidents, because that is a frequent spot for accidents to happen, as you just have people going left and right on the freeway, a car has to drive across one lane of the freeway, or actually 2 lanes of freeway, hang out in the median, and then take your left turn onto into the traffic to head towards downtown or wherever you need to go if you're trying to get to I-90. And then if you're coming in from downtown and you need to come back in, you're hanging out in that median and trying to get past the people that are heading southbound. So it is already a traffic nightmare. It's just gonna get worse. And then if you're at the top, you have to work your way all the way down to the Cheney Spokane Road, which has had some major construction in the last decade and is better flowing, but I'm not sure it's gonna be able to handle as much traffic as is gonna start going through there. So I'm very interested to see if the city or the county is gonna require some sort of change to the freeway, which could delay the project a lot. If they're going to require the developer to contribute some money to it, I'm not sure. So that's something we're keeping an eye on as well, because people love that area, love being in Eagle Ridge, and there's hopefully going to be some expansion in the shopping area over there where the Yokes is and Chaps. I know there's a big piece of vacant land that people would like to see some restaurants going over there, so people don't have to come all the way into downtown to get some takeout or anything like that. So we'll just see. That's one we're definitely keeping an eye on, as it is already not a great situation, and it will be a challenge to make it a really good situation. So like I said earlier, if there are any updates going on around you in Spokane or anything you have questions about, leave them in the comments. I want to do some research. I just don't know what I don't know, and I don't know what you're interested about. So drop a comment down below with where you would like me to do my research or what you have questions about what's happening here in Spokane. Make sure to watch this video or this video. Thanks so much for sticking around, and we'll see you in the next one.